What is going on, everybody? My name is Fuki, and welcome back to 1.18 Survival. As you can see, in between episodes, I did do a little bit of mining. I got a couple diamonds, got some iron, and I got a little thing back there. We'll get to that later. But I did want to kind of talk about something here. 1.18 is absolutely ridiculous. I have blown through so many resources just digging. I figured it was time to actually do a little something about it, and I was thinking it over, and I actually went into a creative world to kind of figure something out. So let's kind of go over there really quick. So basically, this is my villager breeder / iron farm that I've been kind of tinkering around with, and I'm going through here and just kind of seeing how well it's been working and what the outcome is. And what I'm finding out here is there are a lot more villagers than I anticipated. If you were to kind of pause and count them, there'd be around 30 villagers. And I just had this thing running for about an hour or so, so that's about one every 2 minutes, which isn't terrible. It's not great. There's definitely more efficient ways to do it. But for my survival world, this is more than enough for what I would ever need. Basically, what we have is, like I said, a villager breeder / iron farm, and here we're seeing 2.5 stacks of iron was a result of that hour test, which is pretty good. Again, it's enough for what my needs are in 1.18. Because what I'm finding in this new version is you're digging a lot more. So on my way all the way down to 1.8, the floor of 1.18, I went through an entire pick. And that's when I realized that mining iron isn't going to be enough, so I'm going to need an iron farm. So I figured I might as well do both an iron farm and a villager breeder and kill two birds with one stone. So basically, how it works is you have 6 platforms of 4 villagers each, so 24 villagers. And when the villagers breed, the little guys will jump off, hit these tripwires, and they'll just kind of get sorted out the way through. And those tripwires trigger the food to dispense into the rest of the villagers. And that after a certain time, zombies will pop up, scare the villagers, and spawn the iron golems, as well as push the baby villagers back across, restarting the cycle all over again. Now this guy, he popped up literally like 5 minutes before the end of that hour test, so I don't know what happened. It should be a pretty easy fix to do to prevent it from happening again. But I was sitting there for an hour, and everything was running smoothly. And just right at the end, he popped up. Usually, they're supposed to spawn out here. There's one level for each platform, and this is usually where the iron golems spawn. And they just kind of get kicked off into these pools, and then ultimately they die in this lava, and the drops get picked up by these hopper mine carts. Pretty efficient. The spawns can use a little bit of work, but for my needs, I mean, it's a lot of resources to get to what this is. Obviously, this isn't my creative world for testing, but it's pretty good for what I need, and I can kind of tweak it and play around and expand it or shrink it as I need to suit my needs in my survival world. This is just a test to see what we can do with it. Now, how this all started, there were a couple other iterations for what we needed for what I was kind of working with here, and it all started with this little guy down here, and this one was just a base concept where you have a couple villagers and a few beds, and how it was supposed to work is you have the 2 villagers who breed, and there's a zombie that pops up right here and scares them. And what I was thinking to happen is the baby's villager would just kind of drop down here, all the way down and get pushed over and sorted through to end up in this last platform here, which, as you can see, it does work, but it's not that efficient, because what happens is the babies actually don't go down there. They have plenty of room to go, so there's no direction. They just kind of scatter, and as you can see, this guy is just behind the bed instead of going down the platform. So I took this concept and kind of expanded upon it a little bit, and that's where I came up with this one. And this gives the baby villagers the direction and has the pop-up zombie again, as well as the 4 villager platform, as well as the tripwires. And I have some overrides on here, so I can turn the iron part of it on and off. And I can also do an override, so if there's no babies spawning to trigger, I can manually trigger both the feeding as well as the zombie pop-up. And this is where the bread would kind of go to kickstart the whole thing, and then the iron golems would just spawn up here, work their way down into the lava, burn, and then come down here to kind of get picked up by this hopper minecart, and all the drops would kind of go here. So you can see it's evolving from the original into kind of what I have now. A very similar concept in this second stage. Clearly not as good, but we're talking 4 villagers here versus 24 in that guy over there. So it's definitely an improvement, but it's not that big one that we were just looking at. Now this one here, I wanted it to be tileable and scalable, and for the most part I accomplished it. I mean, the redstone can get a little tricky when you're expanding it there, but you can take the platforms and throw them off on, or not throw them off, but you can take the platforms and move them to the other side of that pool, so you actually have 6 platforms on each side, so for a total of 12. And basically you double your spawn rates, and then you can keep going up if you really wanted to. Like I said, the redstone would get a little tricky expanding it, so you don't run out of signal strength. You just kind of have to work with that, but you can definitely do it. So you can definitely tile it within reason, but given how inefficient the spawn rates are for the iron golems, there's definitely some tweaking that needs to be done. But for a good start, this is pretty solid. So yeah, that's kind of what I came up with. It's a work in progress. I think it'll work pretty well for what I need. I need to find a place to put it. It is pretty, but excuse you. It is pretty big. I don't know if I'm going to do anything that big right now. I definitely want to get something similar to that so I can really start getting some iron and not have to worry about mining it at all. So that's one thing I want to try to work on this episode, is trying to get at least some sort of iron farm going on, because I need to do something better than just mining it. So that's goal 1 for today, is a small little iron farm. And goal number 2 is, if I can, really start sorting out a villager trading hall. I did start on it a little bit in between episodes. I have this little area down here that I started working on. I have a couple villagers here. What? Hold on. Okay. Whoo! This guy. I spent so long trying to get this guy. Yeah, he is the mending guy. I got him. He is the most important. Again, like I was saying earlier, I was burning through so many resources just digging this giant tunnel down here that I was burning through so many resources that having mending is the most important thing. I got a farmer here just to get some emeralds. This guy here, again, just to get some emeralds. We'll kind of see what we can come up with for a villager trading hall. I was playing around with a couple ideas there too, but nothing that I'm really liking, so I may play around with that in a creative world. But I've been mining quite a bit. I got an amethyst geode. I took down a whole entire one of those and saved all the shards. I got a whole bunch of other resources, bunch of food, gold, just a whole bunch of other stuff. And if you wanna, I wanted to show you guys this too. I found a dripstone cave, so I kind of got this growing. Let's not fall off a ladder. I got this growing now. I just had this water up here. I'm not even sure if this is how this works. I think over time it will start growing some stuff. I don't know if you have to seed it with an actual dripstone or not. I don't know. I technically could. I did snag a couple of them, but I do have them down here actually serving a purpose. What are you what do you cannot dye leather in lava. What do you think you're doing? I mean, I guess it's black, so I mean it makes sense if he's if he's trying to dye leather in lava, it'll burn. So I mean, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, so I have lava spawning here because I want to kind of start working on a mining for obsidian. I want to have an obsidian farm based around this, which that is not water. What are you doing? So I want to get some obsidian. I want to get some enchanting going on. I want to build an end portal, or not an end portal, a nether portal. And I want to start progressing towards some of the more advanced things, and I think this is really going to help. So with that said, I will kind of get a little bit more of this work done, get started on some of my plans for this episode, and I will check back in when I make a little bit of progress. All right, everybody. My iron farm is complete. It is almost a villager breeder as well. I just need to get the collection system for the babies. So let's take a quick look here and see what we got. So it's up in the air because I want the villagers to come down. And basically, it's very simple. I have 3 villagers, 4 beds, so that's set up to breed. But you got that zombie in there that's just kind of chilling. And every time all 3 villagers go onto the carpeted area, they see the zombie, freak out, and it spawns an iron golem. And it spawns it right on top up here. And then it comes down here into that lava blade, and then it has a little item collection system that I gotta extend down once I get a little bit more iron to make more hoppers. But yeah, this is it only spawns a single golem, which is fine for now. I can easily expand this. Like I said in the previous video, it's the same concept, just on top instead of on the side. I don't want anything crazy huge right now because I don't think this is going to be my permanent location. And if it is, then I can always expand it later. I also managed to find myself something else, which is pretty cool. Let's go take a look at that. I found myself a skeleton spawner. As you can see, I'm fully decked out in diamond gear. I have a mending pickaxe and a mending axe. And without XP, mending doesn't really do a whole lot of anything. So while I was searching around for diamonds and in all these caves and all that, I came across this skeleton spawner and made use of it, and it's done me very well. And the last and final update for this episode is has to do with the farms. And basically, I have just about everything I need in here. That skeleton spawner had melon seeds, so I finally got some melons. The pumpkins I already had. I have wheat, potatoes, carrots. I got chickens. I have a horse. I found some armor, cows, pigs, sheep, dripstone, which has served me pretty well. Still need to find a better use for that. You can see in the window, I do have a nether portal. I am planning on going to the nether to take that on soon, possibly next episode. We'll see. And then obviously all along the river there, I have my sugar cane. So yeah, this has been a pretty eventful episode, and I think I'm going to call it there. Oh yeah, I planted a bunch of trees back there too. So moving forward from here on out, there's 3 main things that I would like to take care of. Number 1 is an item storage system, because I have 5 chests in that tiny little house and it's just a mess. I need to organize my stuff. Number 2, I would like to expand out my villager trading hall to kind of make more use of that. And finally, I do want to take on the nether, find another fortress, and get what I need to start trying to find the stronghold to make some more progress. Eventually, I do also want to start building out a bigger starter base. And of course, it's going to start raining right in my outro. That's kind of ominous. Hopefully, that doesn't mean next episode is going to be a bad one. But without further ado, I'm going to have to call this one. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.